Hello guys and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be on Genshin Impact and it's going to be our very first hero review. Today we're going to be reviewing Keqing. I think that's how you say her name. I don't know if it is. I think it's pretty close though because it's a Chinese name or Mandarin and people have told me that that's the way you say. So what's so special about Keqing? We're going to go over her skills and we're going to try to make you understand how you properly should build her or could build her. So let's go over that. Alright, let's go over her skills and talents. First of all, her normal attack. She performs 5 rapid strikes. That's actually really good because she has one of the fastest, if not the fastest, normal attack chain in the game. And this comes in useful because of the weapon she uses, and we'll go over that in a second. Her S2 or her E is basically called Stellar Restoration. Basically, you press your E and you choose where the orb is going to go. When you throw that orb, you get to teleport that orb and you slash on the position that you picked the orb to be. And ultimately her ulti is just an AoE around her that hits a ton of times and it does a lot of electro damage. So she's an electro unit and we're going to go over each skill individually. When it comes down to her attack chain, it's really simple to test. We just got to really hit it. So basically you just goes like this. As you can see, very fast. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it says it hits 5 times because one of these times hits twice, right? But as you can see, it's really fast chain, and because of it, it's very good with certain weapons. For example, the weapon I currently have on her is very good with this, and I'll show you right now. Currently, these are my Keqing stats. She has 1,700 attack and 17,000 HP. So basically, look at her weapon. I'm currently using the flute on her, which is a 4-star sword. This sword, every time you hit 5 times, it procs an harmonic proc that deals 100% of her attack damage. So if you build her with high attack, it means that when it procs, it's gonna hit for 1,700 if the enemy's defense is low. But this does scale with defense, meaning that if the enemy's defense is high, it's gonna hit, but still, because it has a really fast attack chain, it means that every time she does an attack chain, it does a 6th hit with this sword. So it's really cool because the more attack she has, the more this proc will do, and sometimes it really comes to clutch because it's a little AoE around it, and I'm going to show you now. Here we go, we found some enemies, so we're only going to use our attack chain still. So every time I hit, you see a little harmonic proc going on me, right? So every time I do one of the attacks, it goes like this. On the 4th attack, as you're going to be able to see here, it's going to do 2 procs. See? It did 2 procs. It did one for 600, the other one for 700. So basically, when you're just using your basic attack chain skills, you're going to see it proc quite a bit. Look. See? Like that. And it can also crit, by the way. It's a proc that can also crit. Which they don't really say it there, but somehow it does crit. So every time you have that extra proc, it procs like that. See? 1,500 on 2 people around me when that thing procs. So the more attack you have on her, the more that proc is going to hit for. So let's go on to her S2. Her skill 2 is the Stella Interstellar, or whatever the name I said. But basically, when you hold down your E, you get to teleport anywhere. And when I say anywhere, it means you can even go on the top, which is one of her winning traits because it means you can jump up and do some smash attacks. And after she uses this ability, as you can see by the sword, it's purple. It means that every single attack that she's going to do is going to be imbued with electro damage. So as you can see now, white numbers coming out of this guy, right? No problem whatsoever. If I use this one, well, that's the wrong one, isn't it? I guess I just misclicked. But the point is, when I use this, my blade becomes imbued, and look, all my damage becomes electro damage. So she's really cool as an electro unit because she can do constant electro damage to your enemy without having any issues. So now let's go over the S3 that I just used. You basically saw it, but I'm going to go farm it. One cool way to use your E is to traverse terrain as well. Because for example, if you can't reach that spot, you just go like this, and then you press it again and you teleport into it. You do have to double click for it to work. Okay, when it comes down to her S3, it's going to be a bit different. You're going to need to gather up some enemies, and one cool thing about it, it hits in height as well. So if there's enemies up there, which the guy dropped down apparently, Uh, I kind of wanted to show that it still hits up there. So we're going to go with S3 now. It's a large AoE around you that hits them multiple times. And it hits people up there. If the archer didn't leave, we're just going to test it again. So basically, on combat, you wanna combo your E in a way to dodge your enemy. The cool part about this unit is that she has a lot of mobility and she has a lot of iframes as well. Even on her attack string, she disappears and that becomes an iframe. Same thing works with her ulti. Her ulti also is an iframe, and her E, when she teleports, it also is an iframe during the duration of that. So she's a very slippery unit and very, very good in Abyss because she has plenty of AoE, and if you build her with energy recharge, she's basically going to be able to spam her ulti, since her ulti has a really low cooldown of 10 seconds. So as long as you have 10 seconds to charge your ulti, you're honestly going to be enough. You're gonna have enough, and her damage is really good. As you can see, her ulti is back again, and that's going to be her strong suit. She's just a unit that deals a lot of damage, she's a great DPS, and that's basically it. So now on to possible builds that you can possibly use on her. Okay, Keqing is one of those units that she scales with crit damage a lot, because her passive, not her passive, but when you level her up, I'll show you right here. When you level her up, the stats that go up when you I don't have any XP to give her, but basically when you awaken her, she gets innate crit damage. As you can see here, she has 91%. That's 41% over the 50% that she normally gets as base, or everyone gets as base. But I have no crit damage on her. So this is most of this. I have a one piece that has crit damage on it. So most of this actually comes from her passive, and that's really cool because there's a couple weapons you can use on her that are very good for crit chance as well. So let's go over those. I'm currently working on swapping the build on my unit because I'm using the flute because the flute has an extra set of 30% attack, and I've showed you that proc is actually pretty handy. But ultimately, you want to have her on a damage energy recharge build so she can keep her ulti up at all times, because she's in the end going to be an AoE user or AoE damage dealer on Abyss, and that's the end game of the game, right? So honestly, for me, currently, I would use the Favonius sword instead, because every time she gets a crit, every 12 seconds, she gets elemental particles to get her ulti up faster, and the sub on this weapon is energy recharge. And because she has so much crit damage built in, I would also swap her to a crit damage artifact. So currently she has a mask that is attack percent, but I also have another one for crit chance, which will help this build quite a bit. So basically, this is the build that you kind of want to go for. You either can go for attack if you have a flute, or if you have any other weapon. There are 5-star weapons that are better than this, but these are the current ones that I'm using. Ultimately, overall, you want to go for a high damage, high energy recharge build, just because you want to be able to have constant AoEs from your ultis, since her cooldowns on it are very, very short. So basically, she's a great DPS unit for lightning type, and overall she's a lot better than the units I was building. I was building Razor. Razor does amazing, but Razor is not as slippery as she is. In Abyss, Razor does insane things, but at the same time he takes a lot of damage, and therefore in Abyss, because you need to survive three waves, he's gonna die and she's gonna survive, just because the mobs don't really hit her that hard, because she keeps doing a lot of iframes and a lot of movement, therefore the enemies never really catch up. So to prove to you that she's really, really good in Abyss, we're gonna do 1/2 1 floor in Abyss, okay? Alright, I'm currently on 6th of Abyss, but that's going to take way too long, so I realized that instead of doing a 2/2 Abyss level, I'm going to do Abyss 4. Abyss 4 is pretty good, and it's benefited by electro damage, so we're probably going to be seeing a lot of crazy stuff from her. So we're going to use just our main units here, and that's basically it. So we're going to go into it, and I'm going to showcase how the attack, how she normally works on attack. So when you want to use her, you want to honestly spam your shit, but dodge a lot of at the same time. This is one of those units that you really need to just wait for your ulti to come back and gather up some units while you're actually dealing damage and farming your souls. So that's basically it. So we're gonna go for damage after a sprint, because you want this for the floor. Let's go in and let's see how much she can do. Remind you, this is a floor 4. It's not that great, okay? A lot of these units are wet. So basically, as you can see, you can throw your stuff and she's going to do a lot of damage. And because electro damage is actually enhanced here, you gather up some people, you do your ulti, and he just claps things. And it's really, really crazy. So let's go into this. By the way, you can always double tap. I would actually advise double tapping when you're doing Abyss, just because you can get out of your situation better. If you're waiting for your teleporter, sometimes what happens is the enemies move, and when you go into it, it's just not as good anymore. So as you can see, I have my ulti again. Time to use it. I only use it on one person, but it's fine. And she does have this range to abuse, right? And that's one of her big things. As you can see, my attacks are imbued with Electro. So she's going to do a lot of stuff now. As you can see, the sound from the flute is slightly annoying, but you'll learn to get used to it because it actually does pretty good damage. This guy is iframing me, but it's okay because we have enough damage right here. Okay, there you go. The Electro Charge is charged down. As you saw there, it hit for 1,600. Let's see if we can do it again. Let's do Harmony proc. Okay, hit for one. But as you can see, like, she stacks this really, really fast. And now he dies. There he goes. Now there's the next one. Let's go. Let's gather them up. Get some energy. This is why you want to get energy recharge on her. As long as you can keep up your ulti, your DPS is going to be maximized. So she's going to need some gear requirement. But at the same time, she's, for me, one of my best DPSs. I was using Razor. He was doing amazing things for me. But then I chose to put Razor's gear on her just to test her out, and she did even more amazing things. Her damage is very, very good. And now we just ulti, and he should be dead. The last proc hits very hard. So there you go. So that's the challenge complete. I don't think we're going to do a second 4. I kind of just wanted to showcase that she's really, really strong, and I hope if you guys get her, you build her. I mean, she's a 5-star, you're always going to build her, but she's extremely good, even though I know some people say that she's not that good. I think she's very versatile, and if you're a skilled player, she does a lot to you. She gives you mobility, she gives you a lot of iframes to play around with. So in my opinion, for Abyss, she's a very, very solid unit. All you got to do is get her as much attack as you possibly can, as much energy recharge as you possibly can, and then get her on a good set like a Brave set or something like that, and it's going to deal a lot of damage for you, and it's going to clutch it up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first hero review. This video was not scripted, so I'm sorry if it was a bit confusing, but I'm a bit confused myself because it's my first video on hero reviews on this game. So hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.